Morning everyone, hope you're okay. It's FanSTITCHtic here, or SJ. I thought I'd do a Flosstube today about the Cunning cross-stitch designer who has the Letters From Hogwarts SAL that I'm currently partaking in. You can see it on my Instagram. I've just finished chapter 3 and it's brilliant. It's not a normal SAL, it's not a normal stitch along. There's aspects to it that make it something that hasn't been done before, and it is really truly amazing. And Cunning cross stitch, or Stuart as I might refer to him later on in the video, has really blown it out of the ballpark, I think that's the saying, with the elements to the stitching, the design in general, how amazing it just is in general. So I'm going to introduce you to that. But also some exciting news, if you haven't seen, that Stuart has collaborated with Brian Kessinger, I think that's how you pronounce his second name, who's an artist, and he's turning the artworks into cross-stitch patterns, and the ones I've seen drop so far are really cool. So when I get some money in, I can finally buy some pieces. So yeah, have a look out for those. I think more are dropping every now and then. So I'm going to get on with and show you the Letters to Hogwarts SAL, which I have over here on my messy desk. I found the lighting a bit better over here, so that's why I've moved over here for most of my videos. And it's also going to be easier to show you everything than having to cart it over to where I was. But I've had some questions about what are on my bookshelves, so I might have to do one over there anyway, just to show you what's on my bookshelf. So I keep all my projects in these very cheap plastic wallets that I got from WH Smith's. I really wish that I had like a gorgeous fabric project bag, or bags, because you know we all have more than one in work in progress, to keep things in, but I don't, because I don't have the money to. So I keep them in this, but one day, you know, when I get the money, I will buy a lovely project bag. I'm not very good at making my own. I could try, because I've got the sewing machine there and I've got fabric down here, so I could try and make my own, and I might do one day, but I'm so engrossed in my cross stitching, I'm like, I don't want to take some time to make a project bag, I want to do my cross stitching. But it depends what your preference is, isn't it, and what you prefer to do first, so you know. So I'm going to pop that on my chair there and bring this one out. So this is I'm going to show it from far away and then bring it forwards. This is the Letters to Hogwarts SAL, and I've done 3 chapters so far. I'm going to bring it down while I talk about it a little bit. So the Letters from Hogwarts SAL is not a normal 12-month stitch along, where a new pattern is released every month. It is a bi-monthly one, which means a pattern is released every 2 months. So the first pattern was released in January, then March, then May, then we're waiting for the July one. And the first thing that happened with the stitch along, which by the way is free, I just want to put that in there, it's free, although you can buy, which I will once I get paid, Stuart a coffee, and that's how he wants his recognition. You know, he wants you to, would like you to buy him a coffee if you can. You don't have to, but you know, it's there if you want to. But the first thing that dropped before January was the outline, the border, and some other extra elements, which usually do drop first for stitch along as you get the borders. And the border and the elements for this one was the parchment papers that you can see. I'm going to fold it so I can show you here. Parchment papers around the outside, in the middle here, and around this side the parchment papers, and then this top border bit with the owls, the castle, the train, the swirls and the wand. That was the first bit that dropped. Now I have been a little bit cheeky and I have done a different modification of the castle, so that's not the original castle, but I just liked this castle a little bit better. so I did that modification instead. I think it stood out more on my fabric than the one that Stuart did, and the one that Stuart did is still really great and amazing, but it was quite dark, so I didn't think that it'll stand out and pop on my fabric as well. So my fabric that I'm stitching on is from Steph Fabbies. It's an American website that does lots of different fabrics, hand dyed fabrics, and this one is 18 count, and it's the blue sky, and it's got a lovely marbly sky effect with blues and whites, and I just absolutely love it. So, and it's really nice to stitch on. I think it's the best fabric that I've stitched on in a really long time, and I'm really enjoying stitching this piece. One, because of the designer and the elements that he's put in are fantastic, and two, because of the fabric that is amazing to stitch on. Like fractional stitches that sometimes can be a pain, and metallic floss that can sometimes be a pain, have been a wonder on this fabric. And she doesn't put that she uses a different type of like design or whatever. I can't find the little piece of paper that I had that was attached to the fabric about her. So I'm not too sure what designer she uses for the fabric, but it's amazing. So like I said, the first thing that dropped was these elements here and the parchments. So with this SAL, as I said, it's not a normal stitch along, it's a bit different. Each month different parts of the patterns drop, and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure book. I don't know if you had those as a child. I did. You'd read something, it would give you a question, you'd answer it with the drop down, one of the choices, and then that would tell you to go to a different page, and you'd carry on the story from there. And the story is different each time depending on what you choose. Exactly the same principle with this. So the owl, the train, the castle and the swirls were all part of the pattern, but the part of the choose your own for the first drop was the wand. Now I chose to do this wand here. So it was a mixture between two halves and a black pattern. So he gave you lots of different choices of the first half of your wand, the second half of your wand, to stitch them together, and then also the colour of the wood that you were going to use. So there was different colours for the wood. So it was like if your wand was made of ash, you would do it in this colour. If it was made of maple, you'd do it in this colour, that kind of thing. And so that's how, you know, it's different, because he gives you so many different choices to mix and match to how you are as your person, as your personality. We're all different. So you can make the SAL personal to you, which is absolutely brilliant. And you are part of a Facebook group, and you see all their modifications, all their different bits and pieces, and how they do things. So it's great to see everyone's collaborations put together. And then chapter 1 dropped in January, and chapter 1, there was these letters that you read. It gives you a little bit of a blurb. And chapter 1 is basically book 1. And so this time it's basically you being sorted into your houses. So it had a question, and you clicked on which one you think that was more to your personality, and then it took you to the pattern that was for you. So obviously for the houses, we all know which house we're in. So even if you clicked on like Cunning, it takes you to Slytherin or whatever, and you know you're not a Slytherin, then you know you can change if you want to. You don't have to do what is dropped down to you. You can have a look at the patterns and decide which element you like the best. I know I'm a Hufflepuff, so I stitched Hufflepuff in, and so you've got the Hufflepuff banner there with the badger and this lovely, I'm not very good at doing this, am I? This lovely Hogwarts crest here, which is quite a few fractional stitches. I know a lot of people on the Facebook group were having a mare with that one, but I didn't find it too bad actually doing this one. And it's absolutely, hang on, I'm trying to find where, there we go, absolutely gorgeous. But I'll get some close-up pictures of that on my Instagram to show you. So for chapter 1 there was Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Ravenclaw and Gryffindor in their colours obviously, and this is probably the biggest part of the Stitch is the banner, because it's the biggest part of the parchments. So that's chapter 1. On to chapter 2, which is in the bottom, which as you can see is Quidditch. And for that one there was different letters from home or to home, and sorry, part of the fabric just came off, I didn't need that bit, and you chose which the ending result would be choosing what position, that's the word I'm looking for, position you play in Quidditch. Again, if it brings you out to an option that you don't like, then you can just have a look at the patterns and decide which one that you want to stitch from the ones that Stuart gives you. So you could choose to be a seeker, a catcher, mind blank, the Quidditch positions. My mind has gone, as you would say in sign language. And so I chose to mix a catcher, I think it is, with a seeker, because I liked both elements. So I put in the Quidditch hoops with the players, the broom that was there. This is in Hogwarts colours, so you would change it and he gives you those patterns to change it to the colours for your house. And then I added in this Snitch, which in the seeker pattern is up here. Instead of having the hoops and the players, this would be up here to show that you're a seeker. But I liked the catcher ones and I moved it and put it here and flipped it to be able to fit into here as well. And I just like that it fills it out a bit more. And then also in the pattern, the number 7, which I've chosen because that's the number of a seeker, was a letter instead. It wasn't a number. And when I looked, I saw that actually in the films they have numbers, not letters, so I chose a number to go there instead. It's just one of my preferences. And then the latest chapter that we've been stitching that dropped in May. So I managed to, have lockdown to do it all, and actually was waiting all of April lockdown going, please release it. And he was like, no, I'm not going to release it, but So that would have been at chapter 3 here, which I can just about show you. And I got Buckbeak for this one. So this is the most interesting drop down menu that he's done so far. In fact, because there was just so many elements to choose from, and I'm not too sure what the other 3 chapters are going to give us, but this one, so the first part was with the question, was basically giving you a lesson. So there was runes, there was the tea with the tea leaves. Oh my gosh, it will come to me in a bit. And then there was the care of magical creatures. So when I clicked on it, I dropped down to the care of magical creatures, and then from the care of magical creatures there was another question to give you the animal that you were going to stitch for the care of magical creatures, and mine brought me down to Buckbeak. As I showed you there, lovely Buckbeak with Hagrid's hut and some pumpkins. But the other options that you could have had for your animals was a unicorn, Buckbeak, a thestral, which is that horse that's invisible but not invisible, and a niffler. And they were your 4 options. So there's 4 patterns there already in one lesson. And then in the runes, in the runes one, there was the runes pattern, and then he gave you patterns of extra little runes to put into the pattern to spell out what you want to spell. So some people have spelled out ridiculous, some people have spelled out seize the day, to be out into their pattern. So again, you could personalise it the way that you want to personalise it to yourself, which is great. And then the tea leaves one, that's really going to bug me that I can't think what the bleeding lesson is called for that one. But I have nothing to refer to. I have my Harry Potter books over there, but I'm not going to get those out and start trying to refer to those. But I'm sure you can tell me. We're all Harry Potter fans here, and I can't believe I'm having a stumbling mind over what that lesson is with the tea leaves and Mrs. Trelawney. But it's gone. So, that one, Seen into the Future, you could stitch the pattern, which is of a teacup and the book, for the lesson, and then again he gave you some more patterns to choose the tea leaves that were going to go into the cup. So you could, there was obviously the Grimm, and then there was lots of other ones that you could choose to go into the pattern. So that is my Harry Potter SAL, and we've still got chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5 and chapter 6 to go. And they're all based on the books, so hopefully we're going to get the Patronus coming soon. And I'm really excited to see what it's going to drop, basically, what's going to happen with it. But it's waiting, it is out, isn't it? With all SALs, you know, you're so excited to see what's going to happen. But you have to wait it out. You have to wait to see what's going to come, basically. I'm trying to see if I've got... Because it's really bugging me that I can't even think what that is called, what that lesson's called. And I know it in my head. I've got different patterns in here to do with it all. Oh, I suppose I can show you this because it doesn't show you the pattern. It's the picture of it, basically. So these are the different tea leaves that you could have popped in. So you had an acorn, which is for windfall and unexpected gold, and a skull, which means danger in your path, the Grimm, the club attack, so different ones that you could have put into your teacup. So again, it's personalised to you. Divination, and it's not in there, it just popped into my head. Divination lesson was the other option in chapter 3. So divination, runes and care of magical creatures. So yeah, and again from there, once you've chosen your lesson, then there's more elements and more features that you can stitch in, and people's modifications that they've come out with are great as well. It's been nice to see the way that people have taken Stuart's idea and inspiration and moulded it into their own. I love the original pattern, so that's why I've practically kept all of the elements of the original pattern. The only thing that I have changed is the castle, which is here, and also I played around a little bit with different elements in chapter 2, but it's all his design. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Stuart comes out with in the next 3 chapters, and also what he comes out with for his Stitch Along in 2021, and the fact that he's nearly finished it, and then he can get on to work and designing his 2022, which I can't believe you're working that far in advance, Stuart. But I just want to say thank you for such an amazing, wonderful, original Stitch Along that it's been a pleasure to be a part of. I can't wait to finish it off and get it framed from the framers and have it up in my room. So yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come out with next and being a part of that as well. And if you're not a part of it all, as I said before, it is free, and it's Cunning cross stitch, but do buy him a coffee, because you know that amount of work for free is, well, any kind of amount of work for free is amazing, isn't it? We don't work for free, so but then again he does have the patterns that he sells with Brian Kessinger, and other patterns as well that he has. So yeah, do check him out. And so that's just a Flosstube about Cunning cross stitch SAL, and I'm gonna get back in on this probably today after I've been to Tesco's. Yes, I'm going to go and brave Tesco's. Gonna go and get a little bit of shopping, just a little bit, because we're home delivery. We get home delivery, but we've got another week to wait before that comes, and we don't have enough really to wait that week. We're missing a few bits and pieces, a few essentials like milk and bread and that kind of stuff, so I'm going to go and brave it and go and get the essentials. But my next video is going to be about my stash, so I'm probably going to be back over here again and going through my drawers and showing you my stash, which I don't have as much as I'd like. We never have as much as we'd like, but I have quite a bit, so yeah, it'd be exciting to show you. And also I might find some things that I can't, forgot about, or I might find the stitchings that I can't find that I wanted to talk about and can't talk about because I can't find them to show you them, but they're here somewhere, so I know I'll find them. But yeah, I've had some really great feedback, as I said before, so keep your comments coming, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Ooh, Poppy. I was going to finish the video there, but then she jumped up. Nah, she's going away. Oh, with the other video, as you can tell, as I said before, Poppy doesn't like cuddles. Well, she does, but again, only on her terms. And as I picked her up, she didn't want to cuddle because that's why she meowed and growled at me. But if you saw my Instagram story yesterday, she does like cuddles on her terms. So she'll come for a cuddle when she wants to, and she likes to sit where she's about to sit now, behind my stitching. You can see her legs. She just sits here on my stitching while I'm stitching away. She just lays herself there, and that's why most of my stitching is full of cat hair, like I'm sure all of yours is if you have cats too. But I am going to go now and stitch with my little baby, my little Poppy, and I shall see you guys soon. So see you later. Bye.